Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Poland Daily History. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and today we are at the Warsaw Royal Castle, located in the castle square within the Warsaw Old Town. It is a historical structure that houses royalties throughout the dynasties and has been with Poland through thick and thin. We will be talking with a historian that specializes in the history of the Warsaw Castle, and we will be exploring the different facades of the magnificent structure. So join us and let's go on a journey. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Ms. Anna Czekaj, the historian of the Warsaw Royal Castle, here to give us information and history about the glorious structure behind us. And we are now here at the lower gardens of the Warsaw Royal Castle, which is one of my favorite facades of the entire place. It is built in the obvious Baroque style, really beautiful. I was wondering if you can tell me a little bit about this place.
Jesteśmy w ogrodach dolnych zamkowych.
We are in the lower gardens of the castle. We have to say that at the moment this is still fresh. The lower gardens were opened in April this year and they refer to the interwar period. The time we're talking about is the end of the 17th and the 18th century. We would only be able to sit in this place on a boat because there was a river here. The Vistula flowed a lot closer to the castle, touching the arcades in the background. If we want to talk about the continuity of the history of the castle, from the House of Vasa to the wonderful Saxon reconstruction, we would have to mention the times of the two so-called Piast kings, kings from Polish families, native kings. These would be Michał Korybut-Wiśniowiecki and John III. Neither of them played much part in the reconstruction of the castle for a very simple reason, which was the huge destruction of the deluge. It's enough to say that after the deluge, the population of Warsaw decreased by around 90%. These kings focused primarily on restoring the castle's interior to a representational state, enabling the restoration of the same. John III made important changes in terms of functional divisions of the interior of the castle. He moved the same chamber, the Parliament room, which from the beginning until the times of John III was located on the ground floor, up to the third floor, in the same place as other Sejm halls, in the same place the senator's room is now. He repaired it. Bigger architectural investments were made during the times of the two kings from the Saxon dynasty, of the House of Wettin, the Saxon royal family line, Augustus II and Augustus III. This is the first half of the 18th century. What you can see behind us is the new Baroque Saxon facade, which came about the Saxon period. Built on the earlier pentagon-shaped Vasa dynasty period castle, an additional wing leading almost all the way up to the Cathedral of St. John, which actually allowed for a direct path, Polish kings were able to go to the cathedral without going outside of the castle walls. Without doubt, the facade, which today is a part of the most spectacular appearance of the castle, is the most important castle investment by the Saxons. They gave us much attention, perhaps even more, to their private Saxon palace, which survived up until the times of the Second World War. There are plans to rebuild it. The size of the Saxon investment was supposed to be greater. They planned to build two further wings in the direction of the Vistula. The Saxon made one more construction investment, which at the moment is hidden in the Kubiskis arcade at the bottom of the entire castle block, known as the Saxon outbuilding. With the development of the state and the fact that the Saxons governed Saxony and the Commonwealth, the number of officials and the size of the court increased. These people serving the king had to be put somewhere. This was the purpose of the Saxon outbuilding, built on a platform over the river. So once again, during Saxon times, in order to sit here, we would have to be on a boat. The whole place created a beautiful picture, a beautiful view from the Vistula River.
Całość tworzyła przepiękny rysunek, przepiękny widok właśnie od strony Wisły.
So I know that the facade right here is built in the Wettin dynasty, but with the good comes the bad. Not just the facade was built, but also it was a time of turmoil for the Polish kingdom, and I was hoping you can tell me a little bit about that struggle that they have to go through.
Czasy saskie są rzeczywiście coraz trudniejsze dla Rzeczpospolitej, dla jej ustroju, dla losów państwa.
The Saxon times do become more difficult for the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, for the system, for the fate of the state. At the beginning of the 18th century, the Third Great Northern War erupted, first and foremost between Sweden and Russia. Formally, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is neutral in this war, but the Saxon elector is Russia's ally as the Saxon elector, but not as the King of Poland. This doesn't change the fact that most of the war activities take place on Polish lands. Russian and Swedish armies roam on our lands. On top of that, there are internal political issues. This happens in 1704, when the Swedes favor a different candidate for the Polish throne. Thanks to their initiative, the noble confederation dethrones Augustus II and places Stanisław Leszczyński on the throne. Stanisław Leszczyński is the first king who isn't crowned at the Wawel Cathedral, but at the Cathedral of St. John in Warsaw. For a short time, he resides at the castle together with his family, including his daughter Maria Leszczyńska, who would become one of the most powerful queens in Europe, wife of French King Louis XV. During the Great Northern War, once again the castle is partially destroyed. On one hand, a great legacy and the great view they have left us from the side of Praga, the side of the Vistula, and on the other, internal problems and pushing Poland into a conflict not in its interest.
Uwikłanie Polski w konflikty nie będące w ich interesie.